for me, it's just the whole process of going back and forth. And I don't mind getting tired. I don't mind rehearsing hours and hours at home. But I do want it to sound in a way that I have visualized it and I have imagined it. Because at the end, I just want to tell stories. Each time, I want to tell a different story.
So you've been in London since Monday?
Yeah.
And you used to live here?
I did. I lived in East London and I loved it.
Okay, what did you love about it?
It's just like the food is so good and it's so creative and it's so dynamic. And I just enjoyed walking around Shoreditch and Brick Lane and just all the music and the vintage clothes and the food from all corners of the world. I think that was something great.
London definitely has a lot of culture.
Yeah.
It's a bit too busy for some of us, but I think for creatives in general, London can be a gem.
Yeah.
As you just described.
Yeah.
And you were telling me, I remember you told me about a store. That's where the independent artists go for their release.
Yeah, Rough Trade. I always used to just browse around music and sometimes artists would just pop up and release their album and I would discover such like artists that were so rich and in depth and I found always so interesting and the storytelling they would do through their songs. And so for me, just like right now we're in East London and all around us is just studios and film houses and I love that energy of just people creating.
Yeah, I hear that. And yeah, on that note, Dashni.
Yeah.
I'm Kato Bash.
I'm Kato Bash.
Zor spas.
Fellow Kurd here.
I'm very proud to not just have a Kurdish person here. Like honestly, any Kurd watching this knows who you are. You are an absolute icon.
Thank you.
And as I said, as a people, as a culture, we don't just like Dashni for music, we like Dashni for Dashni.
Thank you.
So that's a beautiful thing.
Thank you. I came here, I did my makeup like 10 minutes, my hair was like all messed up. But I'm glad to be here and for you to tell me that I'm great, which is good for my confidence. It's a boost.
You are a cultural icon. And I think that will
Thank
be
you.
the title of the podcast, actually.
You're so kind.
Episode 47, Cultural Icon. Now, honestly though, here's what I really want to know. Because we spoke about it briefly, but...
By the way, we're fellow Slemanis here.
Yeah, we're both from Slemani.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a small city, Slemani.
It's not. How dare you?
What I mean by that is like, culturally, we all know each other. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, right. Yeah.
And like,
I mean, like, you can compare it to East London. Like, we have these streets and neighborhoods where it's just packed with so much creativity and it's booming, especially the film industry.
Capital of culture.
Yeah.
That's what we call Slemani.
Yeah.
Of all Kurdistan, we call it capital of culture, and it's a beautiful city. And I hope I go back this year, actually.
Oh, I'm excited for you. I think you're going to bring back so many stories to your podcast.
Definitely. So that's a little Easter egg for what I will be doing later on this year. But let's go back on point. The live music you recorded yesterday, can you tell us a bit about it?
I just wanted to collect some songs and work with London-based musicians just to see how they would play it. Like, I was just interested in bringing traditional songs, Kurdish traditional songs, and just laid out for a band and a music director and say, these are Kurdish melodies, these are Kurdish sounds, and I want to know how you would play this. And so one of the traditional song, the guy, he was Irish and he was playing the guitar. The way he interpreted the sound, I told him, you might have been Kurdish in your past life. It was so beautiful that on said live, I cried. I literally cried and I had to stop because he played it so beautiful. It was still Kurdish, but he wrapped it around something global. And it made me cry. Like, I'm always interested in working with different artists just to connect more. That's why I came.
I hear that. So you didn't make any new music, you reimagined your current music.
Yeah.
I
just wanted to sing some of my new songs live, but then with a band that have such a different perspective on music, just to see what could come out of it.
Can you tell us which songs you performed live?
I did Nashkem, Derman. I did 2 traditional songs. One of them is a secret. I can't say much about it until I don't know when the podcast is coming out.
We'll discuss that later.
Okay, if it's after a month, then maybe I can share more.
Is it like a Newroz song?
Oh God, no secret anymore.
Look, we can edit it out.
That's fine, no.
Newroz is very special to us.
Oh yeah.
And you do have a Newroz song actually, which you put out a couple of years ago.
Did,
and you've done that a lot anyway. So that's why I kind of leaned towards Newroz when you said cultural.
Newroz special. It's like, for anyone who doesn't know Newroz, it's like you can compare it to Christmas Eve.
Yes.
Because on the 20th, like all these people carry this torch of fire and they go up the Acre mountain around 5 in the evening on March 20th. And once the top of the mountain is lit, you smell and you feel like something new is happening. It's like literally Christmas Eve for people to compare to. And there's something special about the songs being played, and the people have their Kurdish attire ready for the next day. And the kitchen is packed with all the picnic food for the 21st. And then in the morning, the cities are a ghost town. Everyone is in the mountain. We have our picnic corner ready. There is food, there is Kurdish colorful clothes, and there's lots of nergis flower. And we dance and we jump over fire. And I think it's just, to me, a respect and celebration of recognizing and the renewal of Mother Earth. And to know a new day has come. Like, it's Newroz, it's a new day. So
it literally is. It's the start of spring, right?
It is.
And it's the first day of our calendar.
Yeah.
Which is a beautiful thing.
And I think for us, it has always been about resilience and resistance. Yes. And it has always been a political statement for Kurds. Newroz, celebrating it means we're against all this oppression around us and we're resisting and we're just so strong together. So I think it's going to be extra special this year because of Rojava.
Yes, definitely. Speaking of which, that's a beautiful little line. One of the things that inspires me, as you know, I'm a Kurdish person who lives in England. I live in Manchester. So I'm always inspired by what other Kurds are doing, especially back home. I know you're not always full-time in Rojhelat, but my point is, your interviews became very public and very famous. You know, when you were marching? No, honestly.
Oh, right. Yeah, for Rojava.
Yeah, so I did a whole podcast on Rojava.
Yeah.
Everyone knows my opinion on it.
Yeah.
It's going to be similar to yours, but what I mean is,
yeah,
just describe those moments for you, marching in Rojhelat.
Yeah.
And then being a voice for your people, which you are.
I think I was just very sad. A week before marching, I was like everyone else following the news, how this region in Syria where the Kurds live, and for past 100 years we've faced oppression and we weren't even allowed to carry IDs over there. Many towns and villages destroyed where non-Kurds were brought there, and the same happened in the Kurdistan region of Iraq. But I mean, a few years ago, I was protesting for Afrin when it was like inhumanly taken. And when Rojava was standing on the front line, it was our female fighters with the message Jin Jian Azadi, which means woman life freedom. It comes from Rojava. It comes from Kurdish female fighters, something that is worldwide known for what Iranians used to stand up against their government, but it's a deeply Kurdish-rooted ideology. And in the past decades, we not only fought on behalf of the world to eliminate this, we also use that Jinjian Azadi as a way of life in Rojava, in that administration, a woman-led. It was about equality. It was about an ecological way of living, and where all religions were free to exist, and there was so much done for women, and we have women ruling, and we have women on the front line. And so at the moment, this birth of something so unique and forward and progressive that the world can learn from is now on the verge of disappearing because of
Politics.
backlit or former groups reemerging again, and knowing that the West and America is just leaving you to it because their priorities no longer are with you. I was just heartbroken. And so for a week, I was just scrolling. And then the night when it got worse, all these thousands of Kurds were displaced from Raqqa. And on their way, they were executed in 2026. And I was just in shock because the way we received Syrians in 2014, I worked in the refugee camps for 3 years. I built libraries for Syrian children. And the way we always choose to help humanity in any kind of crisis as Kurds. So I was just shocked knowing that no one is caring. Like, you had all these Syrians in the Kurdistan region who were whispering the approval of this new government and this new regime, and whispering all the good of the Kurdish execution in Raqqa, and it just made me sad. So when I went to the protest, I promised myself not to cry, and everyone was sad. The children were sad. It was very calm and quiet, and I was in the back, and then I thought, no. So I screamed at the top of my lung, and in front of me was just everyone. I was hiding in the back, and I was wearing a, I was just covering my face.
Oh yeah, but everyone knew it was you.
Then I started to scream like, Beji, Barkhodana, Rojava. But then immediately everyone looked at me and they joined. And I just wanted to break that sadness. Like, no, we can't afford to be sad. We can't afford any tears. And I just got so motivated by so many activists who were active for a week, nonstop. And I just kept following their stories, and I just kept reposting. And for 3 weeks, I let go of my own work. I was just in a corner of my room, and I was just changing from chair to the couch, from the couch to the kitchen. And I was just working. And I think I wasn't the only one. It was everyone. It was you. It was children and families and schools and the government and the NGOs, all institutions. Everyone was on the street screaming at the top of their lungs for Rojava.
Even just a few days ago, even after the deal that was signed, I still went to a protest. Because the deal, I mean, I spoke about it a lot on my last podcast. I don't want to get too much into the politics of it. But the deal was an insult. It was never meant for Kurdish unification. It was political theatre. It's about control. And they want to take land and autonomy and control in exchange for basic human rights that everybody else gets. Language, passports.
And the
Newroz.
erasure of our identity.
Yes.
This is what's happening.
But we have so far, I think, been very strong, haven't let that happen. I understand politically we look weak right now, but as a people, we're more united than I've ever seen.
Yeah.
That is sometimes
but we need to make more noise worldwide.
100%.
Yeah.
And this is something that, like I said, the Kurds haven't stopped doing. I think either this past weekend, and this coming weekend, again, there are protests in London.
Okay.
You know, we haven't stopped making noise. Because sometimes when a conflict ends, people can breathe. But the conflict has only ended in the media. We know right now there are many issues in Rojava.
Yeah.
And people are living under threat. Their houses are being looted.
I mean, Koban is still surrounded and under attack, and medical aid and proper food and water, it can't enter. But I think we just need to make more noise worldwide to kind of talk about the Kurdish case.
100%.
Because we can't no longer be silent about our pain. And we can no longer keep struggling in silence and fighting for our identity, language, culture, and all the killing and the attempt of erasure of our whole being and existence. It can no longer be ignored. That's it.
Kurdinam.
Kinam.
Always. No.
Kurdinam.
Kurds, honestly.
Do you have that? Like, do you feel like when people ask you where you're from, I always struggle, like, am I going to say I'm Kurdish from Kurdistan? Or I'm going to just say, yeah, I'm from, the north of Iraq, which is the Kurdistan region. Like, you're trying as if you're committing a crime just to say I'm Kurdish.
100%. So to answer that question, when I was younger and less familiar with the Kurdish cause, I would say I was Northern Iraqi. Now, I'm a Southern Kurd.
Wow.
That's literally what I say to everybody. And I mean that with all due respect, by the way. Like, politics, I've always said this, bad leadership creates hostile communication and living. But if we think back to even Kirkuk before the large form of Arabization through the Ba'ath regime, Kirkuk was a cesspool of culture where people lived amongst each other and they all spoke each other's languages. We have to sometimes be careful that culture doesn't make us neglect years of history where we've had together mostly peaceful. There've always been conflicts in the world. My point is, when I say I'm from Bashur, it's not to disrespect Iraqis, it's to proudly acknowledge my own identity. So I'm a Southern Kurd. I will always be a Southern, and from the greatest city in Kurdistan.
Slemani. Oh, I miss it now.
That's my opinion, you know. But you also love Holer.
I love Holer because it's the place where everyone comes together.
Is it better for an artist to live in Holer?
Definitely. I think for me it's better because I grew up in the Netherlands and I grew up in a multicultural neighborhood. And that's one thing I love about the Netherlands. It has always been a very multicultural place. And I miss that wherever I go. If it's just a place with where there is no diversity, I feel like I'm suffocating.
So you think Slemani lacks diversity?
Well,
in comparison to Holer?
Yeah, because it's the capital. So you see a lot of people from all over the Middle East. You see people from Europe.
America.
You see people from America. And then you also have Kurds from Diaspora who have come back. So I love this connection with people from all around the world. And I think because it's the capital, all these peoples do gather there. And I've had so many meaningful connections. Like, one of my friends used to be from Ethiopia. He was the head of UNICEF in Erbil, in Holer. I've had connection. One of my good friends, she was from the UK. She was a photographer before she left. And the list goes on and on. I met the most incredible people from all around the world in Holer. And I learned so much from all of them.
I think it's better in that sense for work, for diversity. And I mean, you're going to hate me. Well, you're not going to hate me. You're going to understand I grew up in the UK. But I've never actually been to Holer.
Sorry?
I've never actually been to Holer.
Okay.
I do need to.
I'm not going to hate you. I just think you're going to be so excited.
Yeah, I'm going to be very excited. When I go back to Holer,
I'll give you a list of good food, good restaurants.
That's the most important thing.
Yes. And you have good food in the bazaar. You have good food in Ankawa. You have good food around my area. So like there are all these big neighborhoods. And all these neighborhoods are like different worlds. And I'll give you a list. There's good food.
I will definitely be visiting Holer next time I go back to Kurdistan.
Proper good food is Slemani.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Capital of culture.
Oh, yeah.
They can keep their official capital.
Yeah.
No, but I love that, honestly. Just go back to the initial point, like the coming together that I saw. I think in Slemani, well over 1 million people marched. And we had the little boy as well, the little kid with the flag. That was so cute.
I was there. I had to be there. So I went there 2 weeks ago and it was unreal. Like the energy of people marching together. And there was just so many of us. There was no incident of any assault or any violence. And it was just so powerful.
Everyone was there, young and old, from the classic
yeah.
TV actors to the music artists to the young generation.
Everyone was together. And I think we're missing that because the world is now so made in such system. I was walking today, just kind of exploring London again. And I just walked through a street where everything was self-service. Like I would look inside a coffee place. It was all self-service. Everything was so much and big and grand and crowded. But you're actually not connecting to people anymore. All these barriers, like everything is built in a way you check in yourself, you do this yourself. And a lot of the connection is just slowly going away. But we still have that. We have that in Duhok, we have that in Zaho, in Slemani, in Hawler, especially in the little towns. And I went one time through Bakur as well, and you feel that authenticity still among the people. So I like that.
Capitalism hasn't quite reached Kurdistan yet. But you're right, in Kurdistan.
But it's happening. Gentrification is slowly taking over neighborhoods.
I'm like you though, I don't want it to happen because it's nice. Kurdistan, هموی پوره خاله چونی اما بچنه. Do you know what I mean? Even if they're not related to you.
Yeah.
And you just don't get that here. In London, if you bump into the person the wrong way, you got a dirty look.
Yeah. I think we have a sense still of community happening, but that's also slowly, because of globalization, it's also slowly like fading. I see it happening in the coming decade.
But where do you think the sweet point is? Yes, we need some of it, but where do we stop? Does it become as global as London? Or do you think that
it's happening in Hawler already, because everything is being built in projects and compounds. Oh. So it's like all isolated projects. And you see like institutions pop up, restaurants pop up, cafes pop up, where it's causing more isolation in a way, the way the systems work. But if you go to the bazaar, you still feel the thrive and the culture where you can sit and you can have your kebab and everyone is sitting on the same long table. You just come in and it's crowded and it's loud and you get served. And and if you go to Machko and you have your chai and you feel like everyone is sitting together and there's more conversations happening and buzzing and people around you.
Hopefully.
But then the new areas, more people with their laptops and
you got to be careful with those things. Look, I don't mean it in a bad way. I'm somebody who spends 90% of my time in my room. I'm either editing or designing. So I don't mean it in a bad way.
I'm not judging, but I do think we're just, we're slowly also...
But I also see the flaws in what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Right? How much better is it for me, for my mental health, for my lived experience to sit with Dashni or any other podcast guest? Sometimes we forget that because in Kurdish, we describe it as raka raka, but that's what London and Manchester and Amsterdam is. It's a life where you're always on the wheel and you drain yourself without even realizing. Just because you're at home all day working doesn't mean you're not mentally drained. Your eyes are tired. Your brain hasn't connected with anybody properly. Mm-hmm. And even in the West right now, they are seeing that people are starting to get sick of working at home because it does affect their mental health.
I'm so against that. I've never liked it. And I hate joining conferences and meetings online. It's so unpersonal and I don't feel that it was fruitful, productive, and it just drains my energy. But you have to, because that's what most of it is going. And it's happening in Kurdistan as well. All these NGOs who've started these online courses and online meetings and online everything, it's really happening there as well.
It's pros and cons. If you can help it, help it. For example, I live in Manchester. I was never going to do a remote podcast with you. I came down to London. Your episode 47, one podcast has been done remotely. And do you know where that girl was based?
No.
New York. I couldn't get to New York.
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you're right. The connection is different. The rapport is different.
Yeah.
Grabbing a drink and a coffee is different.
Yeah. I would love to see that more. I would love people to hang out more. I just wish people could easily talk more to each other and help each other more if we need something. And I think you do see like communities. This is what I love about East London. You do see communities around the artists, and they thrive because of these communities. And you also have that in Slemani especially. And I would love for this to keep growing. We need to show up in spaces. I think we were like, I loved us millennials, us creating social media. And we did it because, we were like meeting each other as friends. I no longer see my friends there. It's just random videos that's just thrown at me in an addictive way. So I do think we're looking for spaces outside, offline, to kind of connect. I think it's gonna pop up more.
It's happening. There's a shift as well. People run clubs. I've become really big. I don't like it, but people like run clubs.
What?
Running clubs.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen where like 100 people?
It's great. Like anything just to get people together.
That's what I'm saying. So people are finding new ways to get together.
Yeah.
And they're starting to realize that, there needs to be a balance. You can do everything online, and sometimes you can't help it. I can't edit in a crowded room because I need to hear every detail.
Right.
So when I'm listening back to a podcast, the slightest, I want to be able to hear it. I'm like that. And I can't do that in a room full of people.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying. You've touched on a really good point. I want to smoothly transition into Dashni, the music artist, because your growth is very visible. If anybody like sits down and just gets a catalogue of Dashni's music, the style has changed, the way you use your voice has changed. And I understand 2 hours isn't enough to go through that. But from your perspective, how have you grown? Why have you grown? And just take it away.
First of all, thank you. It's the first time someone just asks me about my musical journey and the growth in it. I think I've been through so much, and a lot of people are aware of me having like a 10-year music break. It wasn't my choice. It was more of what was done to me. And just as I was finding my voice, I was 26 years old. I made Open Your Eyes, I made Take Me Home and Benaz and the national, my rendition of the national anthem, Iraqib. I kind of found my sound, and that's where I was abruptly stopped by my sponsors in a very brutal way. And it was 5-6 years of silencing me, threatening me, giving all I had to someone else, all my work, my team, my songs, my image, my story, to another girl, while I was being silenced and facing just so many threats and just trying to survive, running from one place to another place. That's when I ran to London. I thought I'll be safe here just to kind of breathe. And in 2016, I kind of discovered feminism here, and I started to look into women's stories, like women in history. So I wrote like I would collect anything about a woman in history. And every week before the Me Too campaign, like a year before the Me Too campaign, every week I would choose the story of a woman in history, and one girl from Kurdistan, and then one from the West, just to put them in perspective. It doesn't matter where you're from. We all face forms of gender-based violence just because of our gender.
Yeah.
And I've done that for a few years. It helped me heal from what happened to me as a female singer. And when I was strong enough, and all the while doing my charity with Green Kids and doing a lot of climate education in the schools, when I was ready to make music, I was already 35, and I faced another 2 years of injustice. I was working on some songs, and again, some were sabotaged, another one was stolen. And then I realized I am so weak.
No.
I was weak, not knowing how to communicate with the artists and producers and how to be safe. And so I made a decision to work with all of them just to see who's who and where are they. And I realized it's a very unhealthy environment, the world of music, anywhere. It was just very dark in a lot of ways. And it didn't matter like who they were. You always had to play a role within their groups. All the producers, they had their own groups and you had to be a part of it. And I couldn't be me, Dashni. This is me. This is what I want to write. This is how I want to release it. There was still no acceptance of that. So I took what I wrote with different producers and I just thought, I'm going to figure out how to fix these songs. I kept practicing just to become vocally stronger. I did my research on what and where is the best place for me to do mix and mastering so that the sound is great. And while I was doing my research and my daily exercises just to find my voice again, I found my own little team and I do everything from my own being. I use my own Instagram. I do my own marketing. I decide what, when, where. No one decides anything for me. And I'm in no rush, although the creative community and all these youngsters in their 20s, some have made comments and some indirectly to say, oh, you're done. You should sit down.
People
you should
always
be
do
our
that.
mentor. And I was like, oh, wait, honey, no. I had an abrupt stop of over a decade and I have something to give now that I am safe and I know how to make my own money with advertising on Instagram and I know how to invest in my own music. And you are trying to tell me I'm over because I am 40? No. Sit down. I will never, ever again be silenced.
To be fair, this
and
is a
I
problem.
enjoy making music.
Yep, and you're good at it. That's the best part about it. You're good at it. Brilliant. And like I said, people like you for you. That's the difference. So the way I see it is, most people, when they stop, they're gone.
Yeah.
We could, I don't want to because it's not very nice, but we could actually list Grammy winners who no one knows anymore. But when you were relevant, Dashni, you were relevant culturally. You were relevant on more than one front, be it on our TV screens or in our ears. That's why you can come back after how many years? And listen, God only knows where blessings come from.
Wow.
And I'm not here to give you cliches, but because you were relevant, you can come back. And I'm seeing people support you right now.
Thank you.
I've seen music artists in your videos. I've seen music artists repost what you're doing.
Yeah.
And that young artist, I don't know who it was, but all I would say is that someone has conditioned her. He or she is probably just a kid who doesn't know any better.
Oh, I don't mean one person. It's just more a lot of them that you sit in studios or you enter a stage, a space, and then you hear conversations and comments in general. But I do pick them up. And it helped me to kind of be firm and stand on my point of, no, I'm here.
Music is international.
Yeah.
That's the beauty about music. Like you can actually reach anyone's ears and every type of music you like.
Yeah.
And these days more than ever, somewhat independent artists are able to thrive and do better.
Yeah, because of social media.
100%. And they all have their own teams and they make amazing videos. And now they're almost setting the standard for the industry.
Yeah.
And if we're being completely honest,
true.
The industry is dying.
Yeah.
You know, record sales have not been the same. Even our favorite artists don't sell the way they used to.
Yeah.
Streaming is very unequal. Streaming is not helping anybody.
No.
They said it would. It's gotten better than 10, 15 years ago. But
I love the performance. That's where, for me, it's all about. It's about the connection when I'm on a stage and I connect and I genuinely connect. I like that.
That must feel surreal.
It's just nice. Like on New Year's Eve, we had a concert in Zaho and all these families came and they all bought tickets. And I loved just, they were like, hey, can you sing this song? Can you sing that song? And they were like smiling and they were dancing. And I thought, oh, I love this. I love making people happy and I love music. And why is it I have to be perfect I have to be super beautiful and have the best voice and the best song for me to have the right to exist. That is so unfair, like the standards put on us singers in Kurdistan. And I realized lately, I am the way I am, messy, vocally not perfect. I'm not the most beautiful, but I have all the right to be here as well. Why? Why do I have to be perfect? I don't want to be perfect. And don't compare me to anyone. I love what I do on my own. And I just know there are people who connect with it. So leave me in my space.
I have many friends who are music artists.
Yeah.
And that's the politics of the game sometimes, not of music. Music doesn't ask you how old you are, what you look like.
Yeah.
And can I give you some very traditional Kurdish examples?
Okay.
Without naming too much. We have, if we think about the era that me and you grew up in, there were plenty of artists who weren't that good looking. They were a bit too old.
Yeah.
God rest his soul, one of the most popular people, Karim Kaban.
Yeah.
One of his most famous songs came out. He must have been 65.
Wow.
Do you know?
Wow, that's a great example.
We have a very famous singer in Kurdistan, a lady who's actually blind.
Yeah.
You know, same way that Stevie Wonder is.
Yeah.
Music doesn't ask.
Yeah.
It's record labels, it's companies,
yeah.
it's social media.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so many examples, like a modern example, if you could ever do a collab with her, it would be amazing. She's called Ray. She's from London. She talks about her struggles.
Yeah.
And the way the industry treated her and how it took her so long to find her own voice.
I think she's way too international for me. It's out of my league in any kind of way.
But can I say something? Okay, I don't think so. I think you've done performances in Lebanon and Dashni, you are international yourself in your own right.
I am so happy with just being, not just. I am happy to be a Kurdish singer and to be like accepted, loved, and connected in my own community.
You are.
I've reached a stage in my life where I'm like, oh, that's so nice. I am someone and I mean something to my community. What else do you want? And I think I am in such a better place because of realizing that.
You always have been. But let me just stick on my delusional feature for the future.
Let's go.
The reason why, honestly, I believe it would work with Ray is because she is an artist.
Yeah.
Ray is not a brand.
Yeah.
I could name, and you could name plenty of people that are brands. They don't even post unless someone's paying them or something. You know what I'm trying to say. Let's not get into that. Artistry is there to be seen. I can always tell the difference between someone who writes their own music and passionately makes their own music and someone who doesn't.
Yeah.
And we don't have to get into that. And it's the same thing with rap.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't understand why people do this because, for example, the best rappers are the most sincere. Kanye, J. Cole, Kendrick, Drake. These
just
people.
Discovered this UK-based rapper. She's amazing.
Name.
Lady Shell. It's on my story. Like I put it under a gym picture.
Okay, let me get it for you.
I don't have internet, but she's so good. I love her lines. She's so good.
The UK is amazing when it comes to music.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we just talked about Ray, there's Adele, there's Dave, a really good music artist from London.
Yeah.
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 But we actually didn't answer the initial question. What is your actual process? How have you grown? So you told us about the timeline just now. You told us about your gap. I want to get into your mind when you're in the studio. That's what I'm trying to say.
I love telling stories. I'm in a stage of my life where I make music to heal, and I look for a conversation in my own mind and something that's heavy on my heart. And I just want to get rid of that feeling that doesn't sit well. So I have conversations with myself and I try to understand what is happening and how I can process that feeling. And what I usually do is I see a picture in front of me, or I start to sing something in my apartment. And then once I have recorded like a voice note, I reach out to producers, like the one I think would suit the project, For example, I worked with a Dutch producer. His name is Jeremiah. And I had this feeling of, oh, I'm stuck with this thing. Like I always have this conversation about certain men in our society who have made these double standards for women and who make so many of our women and girls insecure. And because of that, they're not going after their dreams, and they miss out on their potential, or they're not supported enough to reach their full potential.
Yeah.
So I was sitting with that feeling, and I went to him, and we started with me writing 2 lines, and then the whole track was created in 2 hours. And then I started to have a conversation with a friend who is a lyricist, and I said, I have the chorus, but I need the verses, and this is what I want to say. So I shared with him in a voice note of exactly what I want to say, and he started to build around that, and I recorded, and then it's with me for like a few weeks, and I keep listening to it of what is missing, what else needs to be there, and I then put my vocals on it. And if I feel like something is wrong, I go back and I fix my vocals. With one of my songs, Derman, I didn't like the mix and mastering, and I also didn't like the beat and my vocals. So I took a taxi in the evening from Houler, 2.5 hours to De Haag, to Tone Studio. They're amazing in recording. And he was so good with me. Like, he was just, okay, what do you want? How do you want to sing this? And I was like, I want to sing this soft but happy. And he helped me in singing it that way. And for me, it's just the whole process of going back and forth. And I don't mind getting tired. I don't mind rehearsing hours and hours at home. But I do want it to sound in a way that I have visualized it and I have imagined it. Because at the end, I just want to tell stories. Each time, I want to tell a different story.
That's exactly what I wanted. Like, you just went off like maybe 5-10 minutes there.
I'm sorry.
No. What are you apologizing for? That's what I asked for even before. Like, you've just gone from A to Z. And this is what, in my opinion, has been missing from all of your interviews online, especially in Kurdistan.
Yeah.
You've actually just told everybody how you get to the studio, recording little voice notes, talking to yourself, going. I love it.
Thank you for that opportunity.
Derman, you're welcome. The Derman video, even though it's a sad song, you look a bit happy dancing. Does it? And you're wearing blue, and it's a nice vibe.
I just wanted to be in a space where I feel like I'm alive now. Because, I had a heart condition 2 years ago, diagnosed with microvascular angina issues, which means literally the small muscles around and inside my heart, they spasm. And I was in bed for 3 months, and I couldn't walk from here to there. Like, it felt like a belt snapping on my chest, and I would get dizzy and I would faint. And I've been to the emergency a few times, but then we found the right doctor, and with the right description, I'm now in a stage where it's been 2 months. I stopped the medication. Wow. I can go to the gym. Unfortunately, I can't run. I do get a lot of pain in my left arm if I've carried my bag too much, or if I had a stressful day, my chest gets heavy. But it was a turning point for me that life is just happening every day. You know, you just need to grab it and you need to enjoy the moments. So I wanted to really sing a song where it's about let go of anyone, anything that is just not good for you, and just live your life. And that's why the room is full with plants, because I think plants give you so much energy and life. And I just wanted to dance because, you know, that makes me happy. And
it has
I wanted to share that.
As a listener, it was a very poetic song. The beat and the way you're dancing in the video actually gives a happy vibe to the really sad poetic lyric.
Yeah.
But yeah, brilliant.
I'm done with that. I'm literally done with being sad.
Sometimes, Dashni, and I can't speak for your experiences, but sometimes happiness without sadness is empty.
Sorry, how?
Happiness without sadness is empty. I feel like if we all just got everything we wanted all the time. You're talking about something deeper. It just clicked in my head. I think you're talking about your journey back to music. You're talking about your condition. I think you're talking about that. I'm talking about everyday life.
No, I think also everyday life. I think it's a good point.
Do you think we can always be happy then? Do you think it's possible?
No, I like your point that sadness, if you can overcome it and you go into a state of happiness, you appreciate it more. I get that point.
I'll give you a more simple example. Everybody in Kurdistan wants it to rain. Everyone in Manchester and the Netherlands and Rotterdam, we want sunshine. It's like the small things, you almost have to go through it. Like sunshine in England always feels amazing because we never get it, right?
For me, happiness is a state of mind in the sense of enjoying moments. I woke up today just before 8 without an alarm, and I looked at the view from my hotel, which were just gray and buildings. But I was happy looking at them. I was like, oh, that's built beautiful. And I made a picture and I shared it in my stories. I went to the breakfast and I made myself very nice juice. And later on, I was telling my sister, oh, did you know what I had? I had orange juice with lemon and ginger and cucumber. And it was so good. And I enjoyed my morning. And later on, it was chaotic, or a lot of things from yesterday was disappointing with the music we made. But I did find moments today just to enjoy. And then I was looking forward to meeting you. And when you arrived, I was just happy because I was in a moment with someone and I got to know you. We had a drink together, a healthy juice. And I know now how to live in the moment and enjoy it.
I get what you're saying now.
As before, so much was taken from me, so much injustice that put me in a long depression of 7 years. And I didn't know how to get out of it because I was waiting for people to save me until the moment arrived like, okay, girl, if you don't pick yourself up now, no one will. Your sister, your family, your friends, they can do as much, but that's it. The rest, you need to do the work. And I thought I was becoming so comfortable in the victim role, and I just needed to snap myself out of it and just, come on, do the work. You can do this. Enjoy. It's a beautiful day. It's sunny. Go out. And I'm just happy.
The small things.
I've arrived there. I've arrived where I can enjoy dinner by myself without feeling lonely.
That's beautiful. That actually is. That genuinely is.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not trying to sound like a cliche, but...
Are you happy?
We can get into miss. Not just yet. Let me make this really important point about you. The song.
But I need to come back to that.
I promise we will. Min tiagnashkam. I will not break. Is that right? That's why it's believable, because you've set that example. So the people who listen, to that song, they know that Dashni wrote it. Dashni lived it.
Yeah.
You know? That's why, like, I just want to go back to that point. You just don't know what carries a blessing. Yeah. That does not mean people should go through bad things.
Yeah.
We won't even give them life, Dashni. Let's not even, don't have to talk about that. But what I'm saying is, when I hear your music, I believe it.
Thank you.
And there are plenty of music artists where I listen to their music, I'm like, that's not him.
Yeah.
That's not, do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
You're an artist. You're actually an artist.
Thank you.
So that's a beautiful thing. Is Lazo happy? Lazo is happiest literally when he's recording his podcast.
Wow.
Because I get to meet incredible people. And if I start rolling off names, I have to name everybody, otherwise it's not fair. Okay? So you're a prime example of that. This podcast had allowed me to connect with people that I would only ever see through social media.
Yeah.
And we can sit down, talk, have a coffee, have a nice healthy drink like you said. Sit down for hours. If life is about experiences, then this podcast is enriching my experiences. In general, am I happy every day? I'm grateful every day.
Wow.
But my problem is I'm relentless. And I was saying this to you earlier, I will run myself into the ground to get my work done. I will skip meals. Ask me if I've eaten today.
Have you eaten today?
No, I've had 2 boiled eggs that my mum forced down my throat because my problem is, Dashni, and you might have been like this when you were younger. Maybe you can tell me.
I don't know if I have cookies for you right
No,
now.
don't worry. We're fine. What I'm saying is that I'm at that stage in my life where I feel like if I don't get everything right every day, I'll never amount to anything. That's my problem.
I think.
Were you ever like that?
Yeah, but it's more of you are passionate, and it's if you do your best, that should be enough.
It's funny when you said if you got some cookies.
Yeah, I thought maybe there might be some cookies
it's
for
fine,
you.
It's fine. Don't worry. I'm just saying, like, I'm trying to put you inside my mind. When I attach onto an idea, I neglect myself.
And I will speak from experience because I'm a decade older than you. I've done that, especially in my 20s. I would do the TV show when I was 19. I was at school, and then Friday evening, Saturday, all day, I was working in a jewelry store. And and after the jewelry store at 5, I would go to a restaurant, work there until 1, and cycle home. And on Sunday, I would take the train to another city and wait an hour until the bus to a village in Germany to record my Kurdish TV show, age 19, where I was doing everything myself and the director was doing the rest, poor guy. But the best experience of my life. And I lived like that until my 30s, until your body shuts down because you've neglected this temple, this body that is providing for your soul and your dreams and your mind, right? If I would go back in time, I would prioritize my health and know that evenings are for me and for my friends and my family. The more you can find a balance, the better you will perform for your work and creatively be able to do more. So from my experience, I can say I understand you, but on the long run, it's not sustainable.
Definitely.
So that's a thing to look out for.
I think that's true. I think sometimes you can also be in that mindset of it depends how you think. You know, everyone has pros and cons. My con is, I'm not trying to sound contradictory to what you said, but I'm in a different stage of my life, right? Go ahead. You asked me to say, go ahead.
Yeah. I think that you want to make sure that you are giving all of you.
And
is it
more.
The guilt feeling? Like,
no.
Will you feel guilty if today you did 1 hour less? I don't think that you should ever feel guilty about just prioritizing health and personal life, because you will still have plenty time to work on your dreams.
You see, you're right.
That?
I haven't understood. No, you're right. I just haven't understood it. I don't feel guilty if I work 1 less hour. I feel guilty if I take a day off.
Oh, wow.
So even on my days off, something has to be done. And if I have a day off...
That's not healthy.
If I have a day off, it can only be a day off if I'm not in the house. Because if I see my laptop, some work is going to get done. If I see my phone, some work is going to have to get done. But if I have to give myself to other people, then genuinely, I'll be like, we're not working today. I'm here to see a friend, for example.
Good.
So...
give more to yourself. I would say that to anyone, especially someone who's so passionate like you. Live more. The more you live, the more richer you are and the more you can give creatively. If you can skip a day work and go to the beach, please do it. If you can skip a day and go into nature and explore what is all around you in the UK, go for it. I want you to just promise me to take a day off where you go into the forest and just take a pen and paper and try to remember or learn about the different kinds of leaves, what they're called, the different trees, what kind of wildlife is around you. Just soak in some nature for a day. Just promise me to do that.
I promise I will definitely try.
Good.
Do you know why for me, why I'm not that fond of being alone? Because I grew up alone. I'm an only child. And we also
Okay.
grew up very far from family. In the UK, I have my
That's
mom.
a lot for a Kurdish family because we're always together,
Exactly.
like in big groups.
Yeah, but I never got that experience.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's not that. It's just what I'm saying is like it reshapes you. I'm happiest when I'm doing things for others. The advantage I have mentally is not only am I quite relentless, I call things out. I'm not shy. So for example, I wouldn't let someone take advantage of me, but I love to love. Does that make sense?
And I think that's beautiful. Love is always the way.
I love doing things for other people.
Yeah.
I want
me
to
too.
accommodate.
Oh, I love helping people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's a very Kurdish thing as well.
Yeah.
It's like
We're such a hospital nation. We're known for it.
yeah, 100%.
So many food bloggers and tourists come and they just, their money is refused. They're like, yeah, you want a sandwich? Okay, you don't need to pay. And they're shocked, like, oh, what?
Yeah, because that cultural identity. But yeah. I'm better at loving others than I am myself. I'm proud of that. So I don't know how other people receive it. I know these days self-love is big. But for me, I'm happiest. Like, for example, without going into detail, I want to get married. I really do. And I want a cute little Kurdish daughter with deep dark eyes and just asking me for different things every second. You know, so I'm manifesting this. I've been manifesting it for a few episodes. I want to get married.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I think when you're ready for it and you're open
It'll
to
find
it,
you.
it will come. Because I truly believe is when you're so ready inside of and you believe in it, it comes to you, just as you said, manifesting it. So
Yeah.
I can't wait for that. Valentine's Day is coming, so
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm rooting for you.
I've got things to edit. My podcast, I don't like dating, Dashni.
Yeah,
I
me
don't
too.
I like love, but I
Yeah.
don't like dating.
It has to happen to me. I like to meet someone and I'm like, oh my God, you're my husband. I'm that romantic. We millennials are raised with all these 90s movies of my guy and you're completing me. I know I complete myself, but I'm looking for the one, like passion and the whole thing.
Whole shebang.
Yeah.
It's a real thing though.
Yeah. And I believe in it.
Yep, so do
I
I.
believe in love.
So do I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who knows? We'll meet and I'm married, you're married.
Hey, listen, life comes at you fast.
Yeah.
Life comes
Just
at you
don't
fast.
marry before me, please. You're so young. I'll be jealous if you marry before me.
Okay, I'll do my best.
No. Invite me to your wedding.
Of course. What kind of question is that?
Good.
I might edit this part out, but a recent situation of mine actually it ended in November.
Okay.
It was, yeah.
I'm sorry.
The reason I actually remembered her is because when we used to talk about our podcast and Kurdish people, we both pointed to Dashni as a ideal Kurdish guest.
Thank you.
So if she's listening, she'd be like, oh, at least he did that. He couldn't love me properly, but he got Dashni.
I believe people come into your life with purposes. And I feel like if someone serves their purpose to your life and then it's their time to go, it's so important to know when to let go because that's also love. Knowing to let go and forgive that person for any wrongdoing means you're forgiving her and yourself or vice versa. But knowing when to let go is so crucial to our relationships.
For that, I don't think there's any forgiveness needed. I think two people, me and her, we did our best.
Yeah.
And we tried really hard.
Amazing.
And we were both a bit chaotic sometimes.
Yeah.
Who cares? I'll take the blame. I crossed the red line first.
Yeah.
But, it definitely was a blessing. And I would like to take it religious for a second. I know they always say this in our cultures and in Islam, there's barakah, there's barakatitiyaya. I genuinely believe that.
Yeah.
My friends believe it. I have 3 close friends who are married Dashni. They all say the same thing. They always say to me, bro, just get married. Like, stop waiting for everything to be ready because there's no such thing.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no such thing.
My brother, when he married and he always thought, I'm going to plan and save to have kids, but it just happened and it always shows up, like food on the table shows up for those kids and he provides and they're safe and it's going well. And I think if you're ready inside, that's all you need.
Well, I think I am. Maybe a bit. I don't know.
it's just like friendship. You need to constantly work together to be in a relationship.
Choosing someone
together.
every day. It's not easy,
and good
but
communication.
choosing someone every day.
Yeah.
Here's a really important point I want to make as well.
Okay.
So we put love to the side for a second. We can come back to it. But I think it's really important as well for people to be inspired by you, because as Kurdish people, me and you are living a life that millions of Kurds don't get. Whether it's Rojava or Rojhelat, they're trying to survive every day. And when we also consider how our parents came to these countries, what you are doing, what I'm doing, we not only owe it to ourselves to try and mold our life the way we want, but we owe it to those that sacrificed it for us. You know, we want to walk so the ones after us can run, and the ones after them can fly.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
And creativity is a lot easier in Kurdistan now than it was in your time. And that is one of the biggest rewards for someone like you. The point is that we thrive because we owe it to ourselves, and we owe it to the sacrifices that we made getting here, and we owe it to the Kurdish people to speak up for them using our platforms.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Thank you for making that point. I think we sometimes forget back home how much we've achieved despite all the challenges, and it's so unstable. Like, the region is so fragile. And I just think, just how you just mentioned, we need to sometimes take a moment and say, we did achieve something. We did fight, and we do have a lot of people who did so much, and we're somewhere, and it's good, and we're working to the next phase. I think we come from the 19s, where we were running from Saddam's regime. I was 5 years old, and we were running behind helicopters to catch food, me and my siblings.
Chocolate.
And I remember, like, when 1988 happened, I don't remember, but I do remember when I was older, and I could recall stories around my families, because my grandparents were then later living in Halabja. And just to know that in 88, 5,000 Kurds were gassed, and in one day collapsed to the ground, to the floor, and we never got justice for that. And every anniversary, I don't see any Iraqi public figures or artists showing up, making a statement online, social media, to say, today we honor Halabja. We're still, like, recovering. We come from parents who face so much trauma.
100%.
I can't imagine how it must have been for my mom to have 4 kids. My brother was just born, to go into a car with millions of Kurds into a mountain without any refugee camp. You're stranded without a toilet, without a hospital, anything, just waiting and hoping you won't be bombed like the rest of the other cities.
Yeah.
They somehow survived. Thousands died of the cold and hunger. We somehow made it. And we just are so resilient. I think, to bring back to your point, for you to say, well, we've done so much to arrive here. I think it goes back, we're resilient.
Yeah. So
And
the point
it's also the new generation was resilient.
That's the thing. So the generation before us did everything they could to arrive here.
Oh,
and then me and you were on the foundations, and then our future generations.
But we struggled as well.
100%. I was saying that in, like, when
Working
we were
so young, and help our parents, and
the scarce mentality.
oh yeah.
Because when you don't come from much, even when they give you everything, you feel like you have nothing.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? So the diaspora story is not an uncommon one, very common amongst Kurds.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying, like, just
Working
to hone
hard,
just to hone in on that point. Honestly, Dashni, what's the difference between me and someone else my age in Rojava? Except for the fact that my parents came here. That's why sometimes you look at yourself and, like, how can I be lazy? There are millions of people all over the world who don't have my opportunities, who don't get to. I'm going to be tired today when I go home because I sat with Dashni and I planned the podcast and I made calls in the morning.
Yeah.
That's a blessing.
Motivation.
God has the prayers. Yeah. The reasons I'm tired are my prayers. I don't feel like I have a right to complain. maybe you're right. Maybe I do need a bit more self-love, but I just feel like I don't have a right to complain. Not in that context. Maybe one day I will have a right to complain, but it's not today.
I think it's so beautiful for you to work from a place of gratitude and to know that you have given an opportunity here to work hard and to thrive and to be an example for people back home, but also contribute. You've contributed with your podcast when you were needed as a voice outside of Kurdistan for Rojava. And I truly think that's an example of resilience.
Yeah.
We are in every way possible showing up at the moment for each other. And you're such an example in that.
Thank you. I would say you're setting the example.
Thank
I
you.
really do. You and many other people. Taban Shoresh with the Lotus Flower. She's been on this podcast.
Yeah.
I Am Hacks. Who else? The Biji team, the music artists. I think they dropped a song called Esmade recently, which is like a love song to back home.
Beautiful song. Beautiful music video. He's been doing for like over a year. The way he's shooting music videos that I think truly shows our culture.
Yeah.
We did that with Take Me Home, where we wanted to show some of our story and culture, because in the music video, it's a group of friends who are coming home finally after living in a diaspora for a long time, but one of their friends back home didn't make it and died. So I already loved stories like that, and to see Biji doing it on such a different way, he's so authentic in the way he's telling stories, and he's setting such a standard for all of us in doing music videos that is not glitzy and shiny, because
it's creative.
Right, we back
creative.
home in the past decade really want to show that we're also have these luxurious lives. But he came back and each time did music videos where it showed the daily life. Like, no, it's not glitz and glamour and lux, but it's beautiful, authentic. And you do see that in his work.
They're doing great work, the duo Biji. I mean, so many young people. I remember even... Wait, I need to make this point before I move on. It's very ironic. We're a generation of kids who were brought here by our parents for a better life, but ironically, we're a generation of kids that want to go back home. So many of us.
That's where our roots are.
I know, but you wouldn't expect it, would you? Mentally, that you'd be there. I never expected myself 15 years ago to be as patriotic as I am now. Do you know what I mean? Maybe because I was just younger and I was more in the English culture. Not in terms of habits, but still living in England every day, which in itself is a beautiful culture. It's multicultural.
Yeah.
It's welcoming, right?
And that's what makes Diaspora Kurd stronger. It's because you carry your own culture, but also the culture in the West. And I've seen that among my family and my friends, we somehow have learned how to filter and bring the best of both worlds in our lives. And that's why you see so much movement, noise, impact, contribution coming from the Diaspora Kurds at the moment. And I think this is something that our people need to work more with. Like,
100%.
It's like a proper asset what we have right now, the Diaspora Kurds.
There's who else? We were going to give you a few more shout outs, like, because remember there was like Mad Hussein and all of these people at the protest, but they're going back onto the music artists. That's where I remember like Banu, she's trying to push for very like new style Kurdish, which you could say is inspired by someone like you. So Banu spent a lot of time in London making English music. What else? There's somebody else. She calls herself Dilnia Khan.
Oh yeah, I love her. I love her very much. Yeah, I love her.
But her music is way more patriotic.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is, like, by saying...
I spoke to her during the protest. I think all Kurdish artists are on their own lane and doing great, but I love her because she's always been that girl.
She's very patriotic
in
as well.
female fighter outfit, in Peshmerga outfit, and singing songs just for Kurdistan.
Yes.
And I think it takes a bold person who doesn't care about views, ratings, streams, doesn't care about image, doesn't care about branding, but truly believes in her vocals and understands the importance of her people and to use her voice in that way for her people.
There's space for everything.
That's what makes her unique.
There's
No other
space for
Kurdish
everything.
artist does it like her.
She is Dilnia, right?
Yeah.
Amazing.
All of us have songs for our country, like for Kurdistan,
Yeah.
but she's the only one who has
Every song
dedicated every song for Kurdistan, which
I'd
I
love
think
to
is
have her on
unique
the-
by itself.
Yeah, it's brilliant. But we have a bit of everything. Like we just touched on Dilnia, Banu, Biji, Naveed Sardi was very famous. I mean,
Yeah, he's still doing amazing. I think all of them are doing amazing. Even if you look at Shana Zair, she's someone who, after a long break, she came back with so many good songs, and then she could have just enjoyed all the fruits from her hits in the past 5 years. She had some major hits, but she went on and every day recording these big shows with artists. And every episode that she records with these artists, she brings back very traditional songs and gives them new life. And all these traditional songs that she sings with these artists who are very, very traditional, you can think of all the different styles that don't know how to use this new era of platforms to keep promoting that kind of music. But she has been giving them a platform, and each song she performs with these artists has millions of views on YouTube, especially the older generation, and then all the other generation listen to it. But she's done something major for proper Kurdish
just
music.
to be clear, we're talking about the same person, Shanaz, right?
Yeah.
She is the best collab with Naveed ever. Do you listen to
Yeah.
it? They have the song called Sharam Mecca.
Yeah.
And then Kurda. Kurda is a...
Kurda is still a hit.
Kurda.
Yeah.
That's just
Yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Shanaz has done amazing
And the
things.
list goes on and on like that. So what we do need is more support for artists, because we do struggle a lot and there is no copyright still happening, and the concert scene is still very small. People still need to learn the culture of showing up to go to a concert and stand and just for an hour to listen to an artist. It's still more of an Arabic culture where we all sit in a restaurant and then the
Someone
artist
performs.
comes. It's live music and it's more about, hey, I'm enjoying myself with my friends. Oh yeah, and there's an artist. And the biggest artists are doing this. And I refuse to give in to this live stage thing. And I'm rooting for proper concerts to happen in the Netherlands, such a small country. But then when like a artist performs, like thousands of people show up, or if 3 artists come together, 40,000 people show up. That doesn't happen in Kurdistan, and we need to push and fight for that to happen.
Yeah. Well,
To go to a concert for the artist.
that's something that you'd know better because you've definitely done concerts in other countries as well, like we said.
But if I do a concert, I don't think you'll be lucky if 2,000 people come. No, but it's
I
true.
refuse to
Like
believe that.
in Slemani now, the biggest artist, I mean, I'm very realistic. I'm now making music, but they're not like major songs yet, and they're not hits. But I am happy with where my songs are, and I hope I'll arrive in a place where I can find my new sound. But to look at the artists who are now like successful and have big songs, and then the biggest number they get in the concert hall in Slemani is max 5,000 people.
Okay, so I was upset there. I thought you were putting yourself down, but what you're saying is we don't have a culture of going to concerts
It
in
doesn't
Kurdistan.
happen. Like the biggest artists, if they're lucky, if they can get 2,000,
We just don't have that culture.
it's not happening.
Well, listen, maybe that's just us as Kurds. Can I throw in an idea? I have an idea. It's going to be a bit of a tangent. I have a festival idea.
Okay.
And it inspired me because there used to be a very generic festival I didn't like in Kurdistan. I never went to it, but I didn't like the branding for it. You remember the Color Festival, Shaky Wayan?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I never liked it. Do you know why? Because I felt like it was taking from other cultures.
Oh yeah, from India. Yeah.
I have an idea.
Yeah.
Let me know if you guys agree. What if we did a Seydan festival?
Oh wow, That's beautiful.
in Dukan.
I like it already.
And already you can imagine more than 5,000 people going, because Seyran's our natural part of our life.
Yeah.
We have a whole day Seyran, or actually just 5-6 hours. Everybody do what you do usually. Come to, well, Azmar
Picnic.
might be logistically bad and dangerous in Azmar, but like, let's just say somewhere.
Yeah, Dukan is the perfect place.
Dukan is the perfect place. And it's the Seyran festival, because all we do is what we do in Seyran anyway, which is Halparkia, and everyone brings their own food.
That's amazing. I love it.
And there's be like 7-8 artists there. There could be Dashni Morad there and whoever else.
I think it sounds amazing to do something like that.
And here's the thing.
I'll be ready for
it's
it.
our culture. Well, I can't make it happen. I don't even live in Kurdistan. But
First, you need to visit.
I mean, I have been back.
When?
I just haven't been back in a long time.
When have you been back?
I last went back. I can't say, it's embarrassing.
Oh, no.
I have to say, it's a long time ago.
It's
I will
okay.
defend myself by saying you can't go back to Kurdistan for a week or two, especially when you're from a diaspora.
Oh, yeah, no.
And the last 10 years of my life have been architecture school and work. I've only just graduated in summer 24. Now I have my freedom back,
congrats.
right?
Yeah.
I only have my freedom back now. So I'll be going back to Kurdistan for long form stays, and I'll be looking to find a lot of people. The number one person I want to find is Soran Hamarosh, the author, the historian.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to find him.
Yeah.
I have to find him. Someone in my family has to know him.
Wow. Oh, you're going to do great. I think there's so many people you can easily connect with.
And yeah. I'm looking forward to it. But here's something that, sorry, I've gone a bit blank.
You need food.
I do need food. پرسیاری که تایبتم هبو بو تو بو کاری هنرید and I just went a bit blank.
How I make my music.
We talked about that, didn't we?
We did.
No, I've got it. Your latest song. I want to know the process of that music video. 1 minute you're on the mountains, then you're on a building, and everyone is coordinated very culturally in Kurdish. Tell us.
So before I decide on making a music video, I write down a concept note, and I can kind of
You can show us.
Show it here, but I need to take off my gloves. Sorry,
That's
so much
fine.
sound happening. Yeah, but I think my internet. But just like this is the Nashcam concept. And so what I do is I add like a link of what kind of music video treatment I want. And then I add like about the song for the person who writes about it. Then I add the lyrics in Kurdish and in English. And then links on how I want it to be shot to show power. I want to have a rocky mountain on top of a truck dressed like a warrior, to sing on top of a mountain with endless mountains in the back, style earthy colors. I need a video reel where we can announce the. So I make like a whole list.
Point it to the camera.
Oh, here you go.
Just once, not they can't copy it.
No, it's fine. But and then there's a link about the music video treatment. So I set up a meeting. I look for who I think suits with it. I spend a lot of time discovering creative people. And so I keep them in my mind, knowing for when I can work with them. So for this music video, a budget plays a big role. We didn't have a big budget, but we managed to execute a part of my ideas. What I wanted was 3 storylines of a boy, which was my story of saying it's a boy, he's selling gum and he's struggling and he goes back home and he helps his mom. And then I wanted another story of man in a car and he's in traffic and he's just so angry, and at that moment, like someone passes by and gives him some hope. And another story would be of a girl struggling, just being at home and working, and then on her way she's harassed. I wanted a rooftop. I wanted to be somewhere where I can just show the city, and I wanted a mountain just to show the power of women. I had specific ideas of what I wanted to wear. So the outfit, the black one, I already wore it in the art cover, and I already wore it in a photo shoot. And then I made a picture of, I wanted a traditional charok over me. And I took my whole closet, all my old clothes, and I talked to the stylist, Rosa. I said, this is all the clothes I have brought with me. They're all black with these Hauri prints. What can we do? And the director specifically said, I want to work with black. Because I wanted also a lot of earthy colors. So she was so smart in knowing how to style it in a way that it makes sense. Like I had my whole outfit ready, like the trousers and the top and the charog, but she added like some accessories that completed the outfit. Or in the mountain, it took her 5 minutes to design a skirt. She just cut it and turned it into a skirt, and she designed the headpiece herself. It's not about if you have an idea and there is a team who's willing to execute it. It's also about how talented are they to help visualize your ideas, but also letting them in their creative freedom. So there's always a struggle. You fight each other all the time because you have something in their mind and they wish to also add their part to it. But for me, I make music now and make music videos because I have stories to tell. Yes. And if I don't do that, I don't see the purpose of why I'm releasing music, and I find it useless because there are way better artists than me who are vocally very strong and can release lots of love songs. I think for me, I have a lot to say, and I want to use music videos. I want to use songs to press on these issues. Yeah, that's the skirt part.
When I make the clips,
yeah,
I don't know if you've seen how I make my clips, but you'll be talking and then just the top third, it will be showing the music video. Because simplicity is elegance. Sometimes Hollywood or the industries make us think things are only good if you spend millions on them. Yeah. But you know what? That's not true. Yeah. Some of the best music videos, like the one the example you just gave, that was simple. Yeah. It was so simple. Do you know why?
And a very creative team. Muse. They're all like 20-something.
Thank you.
Incredible, talented boys from young man, and the director Lawa, he was so smart. The DOP, Dostiar, they were like 20-something young men who were running around for 3 days.
Name everybody.
Because they believe in what they're doing.
Name everybody. Give everybody a shout out behind the scenes that we didn't see.
All of them, like the whole team and the stylist. And then this one is from, by the way, Shinish. She is a jewelry designer. And she brings Kurdish, like symbolic pieces. Like Hanar is very typical to Kurds. And she brought like a whole box and said, use whatever you want to use.
Wow.
And I did brought it back afterwards to her. And I can say that it's our creative people who every day study to bring in symbolic Kurdish cultural symbols and bring it into business, bring it into restaurants, bring it into jewelry, into clothing, into apps, into anything, into notebooks. And they're the one at the moment not just preserving our culture, but they're promoting our culture in the funnest and best way possible you can think about.
Yeah, we're just getting started.
And I'm just tapping into that. And Slemani is the best place to be, to answer your first question, like where's the best place to be? For art, definitely Suli. But for me as an artist, connecting with all people is Hawler.
Yüksten Hawler Rastin Slemani.
And now I love Zaho, by the way.
You have
to see Zaho.
Can I just say,
I'm Dashni Zaho.
You have a beautiful connection with the Badini people.
I love Badini people. I love them so much. And it's just, they have, like, what I like about Kurdistan is every area is different. Like the dialect changes. Yes. The people, the faces, everything changes. Even the food slightly changes.
The Kurdish clothes slightly change.
And the Kurdish clothes changes. And I think because I'm an artist like you who get to sit down with different people, I get to go to different places. I'm not stuck to Slemani. I'm not stuck to Hawler, which we have as Kurds, like, oh, you're this side, you're that side, which is a very big issue. I get to see everywhere. And at the end, they're all Kurds. And they all just love expressing their culture, and Zaho is a place where they love anyone who's creative. If you're someone in the arts and you go there, they'll do everything for you, just for you to exist, and they'll celebrate you.
I love that.
Please go visit Zaho.
I've never been to Zaho, and that is
Yeah.
also on my list.
Yeah.
I have a lot of catching up to do.
A lot. Duhok too. Duhok has gone crazy. Like the young people, insane where the talent is at the moment.
You know, there is a way in which I reconnected with Kurdistan even before this. So
we're just skipping all the other pods like Sina in Rojhelat and Ahmed in Bakur and Hauraman
which
and
is
Afrin and Qamishlo. Qamishlo is amazing, by the way. My friend's been there last year and she said, you'll enjoy just going through the bazaar. So
Shaqlawa, I hear about Shaqlawa as well.
that's in Bashur, yeah, it's also nice. But
Yeah.
Qamishlo in Rojava is just incredible.
Okay,
I've heard from my friends.
Kurdistan is vast. But if you ask regular people, they would think it's a small part of the northern of Iraq. But it's vast, it's massive.
It's like there's so much to explore and discover. Maybe me and you should do like a whole tour around all parts. We can start from Bakur and go to Rojhelat, Rojava and Bashur with a caravan.
Yeah, and just a camera.
Yeah.
Just a camera. And all you need is a camera.
Yeah, there's so much to see.
Because we're in a studio today because I don't have my own place here
Yeah.
in London. But yeah, honestly, all you need is a camera. Just one
Yeah.
camera, a few decent mics. And
Yeah.
that would actually be amazing. You know
Maybe
what?
you can do that for a podcast next time. Like just go around all parts and just show. Just showing
depends.
Mardin in Bakur is like just to see a picture for people. It's just
It depends, right? So the trade-off is always time.
yeah.
You know how like sometimes whenever you think about something, everyone thinks about something different. Some people say, how much does it cost me? For me, how long will it take me? For me, the whole trade-off is time. Let's say I did go to Zaho, Mardin, Ahmedi, like Kurdnit. To really connect with it, I can't just go do a vlog for a day and come
Yeah.
out. I'm somebody, Dashni, when I do something, I have to be completely in. I feel like I can only make that content if I stay there for a while, live there for a while, struggle with the dialect for a while.
Yeah.
And all I know is Bismam
Yeah.
and see how that goes. I'd love to.
That's enough. Pismam is enough to get you to the next. Well, you never know. You never know. You might end up living there for a while.
I need to go back and reignite my soul of Slemani first. I
Yeah.
have to go home
That's
first.
a good plan. Yeah. Start with Slemani.
Yeah,
You'll do
I've
good.
spent
You'll do
too
well.
many years worrying about work and education.
Yeah.
I just...
But that's also important. Now you're ready for your next phase, which is exciting. Next journey. Truly, just going back home and discover your roots.
I have
It's
so many
exciting.
people I want to do a podcast with. So many people.
Yeah.
And I follow them all on Instagram anyway, and I'll reach out as soon as I get there. And I actually, in the long run, I want to have a series in Kurdish, completely in Kurdish. Because if I just stick to English, then it's only people who know English.
Yeah.
And that's a shame, because especially the older generation, some of those amazing people that I grew up listening to, their English might not be that great. So we might have a Kurdish series of Lazo's podcast.
Yeah.
And another series called Lazo's Podcast Abroad. Because I've done a podcast in Paris, but I'm yet to do it in another city,
Yeah.
except London, but that's obvious.
These are beautiful dreams.
And you know what? Can I ask you about something?
Sure.
It's a bit of an alter ego of yours. Not alter ego, but like a character. Rehana Rashkiya.
Oh, that's a nice question. Rehana Rush is definitely my alter ego.
Why?
It's-
What does Rehana Rush mean to you?
She just she slowly came to life in the past 10 years, but I was never able to express it. I've always been a very strong girl because of what I've been through. But I just love the idea that each time I make music, that vision of a strong version of me comes to life. And she's always on top of a mountain, and she has like this force which she puts in place for protection of her people. And Rehana, she has like these yellow eyes, and she even has a tail. I don't know why. Like as if she's almost half horse, whatever. Like or a panther or some kind of eagle even. But for me, I never got justice for everything that happened to me in the past 20 years. And I've been through like crazy stuff like of what happened to me that you think that's impossible, that's a movie. And I always look for a place in my mind. There's a world happening. In my imagination, I get justice. And for me, I wish to become stronger. And as I was going and making music.
Does it represent strength for you?
Yeah, Rehana Raj represents definitely strength, and she's definitely my alter ego. Rehana Raj is everything that I think is a Kurdish woman. Very strong, very firm, standing tall on top of a mountain. And she is maternal, taking care of her people and land. And she's caring and she's also protecting. So she's selfless. And she's there to just give everything for protection, not something for her.
Kurdish women are special, honestly.
In which country do you see mostly women on the front line fighting? It's us. We've always been rulers and fighters, and
it's come out of necessity in some ways, because some people wonder why it happens, and sometimes you have to be realistic and say, yes, our women are strong, but sometimes as well.
Thank you for a man to say that. That's just incredible.
No. I will
the
back
new generation. You're amazing.
I will back Kurdish men.
You don't fear strong women. I love that.
No, why would I?
Wow.
Listen.
That's amazing.
Wait. I need to say this though. I have to defend the men. I would say all Kurdish men support our Kurdish fighters.
Yeah, they do.
Think? No, they
do. Especially with the who cut the braid of a female fighter after she died. I was never as proud as I was in the last 2 weeks of our men. All these men just braiding the hair of their daughters and their colleagues and their sister and their wives. And I thought, oh my God, look how they're standing up for us. And I thought that's
it's us, it's we. We're one in the same. Yeah. Gender doesn't separate us as Kurds, obviously.
And we don't even have these words that are female or male in Kurdish, Sorani especially.
We don't.
Like we don't have he, she. We don't have that. Yeah. We don't say to her. We say oh. For guy, we also say oh. Which is amazing.
Or we can be cute and say kisha kurda.
Okay, yeah. Maybe in Kermanji it does exist. I'm not sure.
I meant like for little cousins running around I'm picturing my little daughter in the future. Kisha kurda.
What do you want to call her?
Oh,
you don't want to jinx it and
No. God knows best. Forget names. I always say this to my mom. It's kind of cute. I like the name Banaz.
Ooh.
Because hazakam naska hatabani.
Oh no,
whatever you're
gonna be such a daddy's girl. Oh no.
What else does a man have to do? If I've got all my goals in life, my podcast is set. What is there to do to be a father?
Okay, well, you better prepare your wallet. She's gonna need all those things because you're gonna spoil her.
I need to stop you right here. Females are an expensive species.
Yeah, we are.
It is not about whether she's young or old.
Yeah.
And as Kurdish men, we do proudly take care of our females.
I love that. I mean, I'm such a feminist because I believe in equality, but in society to get like equal opportunities. But when it comes to a family, I do still think it's so unfair to see my friends or people in the Netherlands where the man and the woman are both working, and then the woman comes home, but she does more than the man. And I think that's so unfair. If she does that, then he needs to also provide more. So I do love that when our men do provide more, they understand if she does outside work and home work as well, he understands he needs to provide more. And I love that. I think that's amazing.
Love always...
And to protect.
Of course.
Yeah.
Love always finds a way. One thing, I'm conscious of time, but I want to get this point in since it's in my head.
Yeah.
One thing that's ruining love right now is people are being scared online before they even have a chance to fall in love. Men think all women want money. Women think all men cheat. And these are young kids who have this opinion now. Me and you are mature people who've lived a certain amount in life, and we know that there's good and bad people everywhere you go, in every culture. But where I sometimes emphasize with the younger generation is they're constantly bombarded with negativity about relationships and love. And yes, it's not easy.
It's all these choices. There's just so many options that makes it harder for young people to connect, because online with all the swiping, and I think because of we tapped on that point of the isolation happening worldwide, of where we not connect anymore, young people now miss having proper mentors and guides in life, and we need to show up more for the young people, because we have made the standard so much higher for them. Like these young people, they're graduating and the housing prices are insane, and they have to have the best job by 25 and have their house, which costs $300,000 or more for like a barn.
And it's a mortgage. It's a long-form mortgage.
I think we're just being so harsh on young people, and we need to also, our generation and the older generation, we need to show up more for our young people, whether it's in the West or back home, because they need more of our guidance and helping. That's what I think. They need more mentorship.
I think my generation is low-key screwed. I'll be honest with you. Like I am in that generation. I am telling you.
Well, we've got our issues as millennials. If we think for a moment at home that we can sit relax, we feel the trauma of our parents. Do this, do that, clean here, clean that. We've got our traumas.
Every generation has something different.
Yeah.
I guess. It is what
but
it
we
is,
just need to show up for each other more. We need to, stop labeling one another and show up for each other. I love like diversity in everything, like in age, in gender, in culture, in ethnicity, but we need to find ways to be more collectively one, all the while celebrating our diversity. We've been so divided that in Netherlands, I can feel the racism just behind my back and behind my neck. And 10 years ago, it used to be so much pleasant to come back home in Arnhem. But the media, the politics, they're dividing us and they're harming us. And it's just not good.
The same issue in England, by the way.
Everywhere.
It's so rich and full of culture, but we're starting to see that as well. And,
we need to show up for each other. I stand on that point.
If you guys want in depth about what we just talked about, listen to Age of Danger. When I was sat with Dr. Bamo Nouri, we went into this extensively. They're trying to make excuses for all of their bad decisions. They're trying to blame foreigners, and we know that's not the problem. And I think anyone who has half a brain knows that the issues that the UK and the Netherlands have go way deeper than
I think what
migration.
We can do as, like with our backgrounds, is to focus more on the positive.
Yeah.
And share more stories of friendship, and share more, like, I don't know, whatever it is, like, even if it's with food, like to find what you mentioned with the festival. I would love to see people show up more and just share a meal together.
Yeah. Because it's ironic how much you can like or dislike someone after a real conversation.
Yeah.
But you can definitely respect them. I don't know if you ever noticed this. Maybe I was a bit more violent than you growing up. But whenever you actually physically fought with someone, you did end up respecting them. You see it with fighters, actually. You always see boxers and MMA fighters. No matter what they say about each other, once that energy is released, there's no hate left anymore. But when all you do is express yourself online and over a screen, you have nothing but hate. Because it's not completely unhealthy to tell someone why you don't like something, But you need to be able to do it in person and actually trade that energy. And sometimes you need to say that thought out loud for you to realize how stupid it actually is.
Yeah.
Typing, you don't get a reaction, or you don't get a real reaction.
Yeah.
So you don't actually know if what you're saying is right or wrong. But in person, someone will just look at you and be like, that was a really silly comment. Apologize to Dashni, for example. Or Dashni will come back and say, no, actually, switch the perspective. Is there something that you particularly want to touch on before we end what was a brilliant
Thank you.
podcast, honestly?
Well, just that the moment we stop judging and complaining. There's a lot around us that is just beautiful and worth living for. It's just stop judging whoever you are, wherever you are, how, no matter what you've been through and how much in pain you are in, or what you think is right or wrong. Let's just drop all the judgment and we'll just,
Do you know what it is?
have better days.
Do you know what it is? You have your eyes, I have my eyes. I will never see through yours, you'll never see through mine. We need to re-normalize. When I was growing up, they always taught us it's okay for people to have different opinions.
Mm-hmm.
We've lost touch with that. I want people to re-normalize it. You will only have your eyes to see through.
Mm-hmm.
And I will only have my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has a different perspective. It doesn't matter if you live in the same house.
That's fine, but let's drop the judging and
Exactly.
leave people in their space.
Exactly.
It's the space, it's big enough for all of us.
100%. But respect the differences.
Oh yeah,
So
absolutely.
for example,
Yeah.
you are one of 5 children.
Yeah.
All 5 of you are different, right?
Yeah.
Even though you were raised in the same household.
Yeah. Yeah. I get what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for.
There's something I have to say.
Yeah.
I said you were an inspiration because of how supportive you are, right? I'll give you the best example. This is the best compliment I can pay you today and forever. Whenever I really need to say this. Whenever I find a creative Kurdish person online, you're already following them.
Oh, yeah.
And for those of you that don't know, I'll go back to it again. Dashni is not just another regular music artist. Dashni has been around 20 years.
Yeah, exactly.
You're an
20
icon.
years.
For me to see how supportive you are of all of the Kurds, like I said, you practically follow everyone. You followed me before you met me, right? You know what I mean? You're supportive, and that inspires me. And one day, the excitement that you
truly
brought...
care about our people, and I truly care and believe in our people.
But you show it.
Yeah.
Even your latest music video, there's a lot of young people in it that I recognize from their content. You're really setting the right example. And the joy that you brought to me today, one day I want to bring that to somebody else who's like, oh, that's Lazo from 20 years ago.
Wow.
So honestly, I really appreciate that. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you. I just feel so grateful and humbled, but also just to know that you see me and you recognize me and you respect me. I think as a female artist and activist and everything I've done, all I want is recognition. And this recognition felt like an award to me. So thank you, truly.
Again, you guys need to spend more time listening and researching Dashni's life, because we didn't even talk about that much of your environmental work in Kurdistan, your refugee work in Kurdistan, your talks at the UN.
I think people know.
Most of my listeners are non-Kurdish.
Yeah.
So my listeners need to do more research.
Yeah.
2 TED Talks, that's a big deal. And your music, by the way, they can find it where? Spotify, Apple?
Definitely Spotify, iTunes, all streaming platforms, YouTube you can watch, and on social media you can follow me. Yeah, so I'm just so grateful to have this conversation with you, and I feel like I'm gonna go home with a full heart, with a warm heart, and just with a lot of gratitude, because at the end I just want people's, that connection, and I truly felt that connection with you, and for you just to recognize what I'm doing just feels so nice.
I've been a fan of you before you even knew I existed.
Wow.
So on that note, everybody, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you out on the next one. Take care, and thank you, Dashni.
Thank you. Zor spas Lazo. Thank you so much. You were amazing.
من تكناش كم خم بزانم كم خورم وهولم تو بويري تو برلهزي تو تشاود لسر خود بي استكاتيتي اتربانيتي بسر برزي بجين برق بقرب عزار هم مقرأ